Hello, I'm Leella Holt from Muscle Shoals High School in Muscle Shoals, Alabama, and I've been asked to talk with you a little bit about being a STEM teacher, and I believe that's probably going to be many of the teachers that will be coming into the project. These are the areas that I currently teach. I teach AP Chemistry, Physics, Chemistry, I've taught Mathematics. So many of you are going to be similar to the backgrounds that I am. I have taught computer science in the past, but I've learned computer science more experientially than I did by formal training. I had some programming. So I think you're going to find that when you move into this area, that you'll have more comfort than you thought you would. When we look at when I was thinking about the talk, what I decided to look at was STEM strengths and then some challenges that you're going to have. And this past week, when I received my science teacher in the mail, I'm a member of NASTA, the National Science Teachers Association, and when I received my NASTA in the mail, what it had in it, which was very interesting to me, was a major article that is this: Computational Thinking in High School Science Classrooms. If you happen to be a science teacher, we know that we're moving to the next generation science standards, and those have defined for us the way we want our students to be able to think. It's more about teaching thinking skills than it is to teach essentially just base knowledge. So what I began to think about is, as a STEM teacher, what applicable skill set am I bringing to being a computer science teacher? Because my first love is in the science and the mathematics. So I thought, okay, what do we have? Because we have those things. And I think oftentimes we don't identify that. We have problem solving. I've taught problem solving as long as I've taught. I was a research chemist, so I've applied problem solving, and then I brought it into the classroom. And I've always told my students that it's all about the process. You need to learn to problem solve. That's what you're doing in computer science. We model. I model things both with RealIA, using actual models, but I model things for the students. It's exactly what you're going to do in your computer science principles. We analyze and interpret data. It's a direct link to abstractions and algorithms that you're going to be teaching. You've done those things. You're comfortable with those things. We have associated skill sets. We have our math sets particularly. We are usually comfortable in stats. We're usually comfortable with measures of central tendencies. We've had our kids graph things forever, so we know about equations of lines. What we're looking at is how can we use this and utilize the skills within, or the resources we have available through the computational skills. We generally are very comfortable with simulations. All of us that are STEM teachers do lab activities and activity-based learning. Well, that's what you're going to do in computer science principles. You're moving these kids into using different types of programming activities. We're going to do some of the, you'll be associated or you'll be introduced to unplugged activities. And those will be things that you'll be interested and you'll be using in your classroom. And they're things that you're comfortable doing. So I think the first thing we do when we move into a new area is look for a comfort set. Look for something that you're good at, something that you already know how to do, and then apply that, which is what you're going to do with your classroom and with your kids. So that's the first thing I thought you might find interesting if you are a STEM teacher, because you're thinking, oh my gosh, I'm doing something that I don't really know about. Probably my principals told me to do this, and I don't know if I want to do this. Well, yeah, you do, and you've already been doing it. The next thing I thought is we have to be realistic, and we have to think about what are challenges, because we all have challenges when we move into a new area. We need to remember that about our students. So the challenges that I thought are programming skills. Oftentimes you might not, or we might not possess the programming skills that are required. I happen to have been taught several different programming languages, and I've taught myself languages, but that might not be comfortable for everyone. But that's okay, particularly in the computer science principle class. You're going to be able to move ahead beyond that. You might not, I was not, comfortable with professional or content vocabulary. That's something that we build in our area, and you need to be aware of that. You don't always know the vocabulary naturally, and you're going to have to build that. Being a mentor teacher, or you're a cohort 1 teacher, I found that I am the only STEM teacher, and they would be talking about they being the computer science teachers, and I didn't know what they were saying. And so I would have to figure that out and kind of go back and look at those things. Just the intuitive knowing where to locate information for lesson development. We have that in our content. I have that in chemistry, in AP chemistry. I can go and find what I need very quickly. You need to realize it's not going to be quick for you, but that's okay. You've got to build, you just don't intuitively know that. Navigate, you need to realize you're going to have to navigate through your feeling of disequilibrium. That was the most frustrating thing for me this last year. I never felt like I was completely in step. And I was first trained as a chemist, and I don't have an undergraduate degree in teaching. So to be in step, to be on top of my game is really important for me. And I never got it right this last year, and that really drove me nuts. But that's okay. That's okay. I learned to navigate through that. If you don't feel some level of disequilibrium, then you're probably not performing at the level that you need to. This should not be comfortable for you the first year. It should be a challenge. And if it's not, then I would suggest that you might want to step back and see, am I really trying to keep pace with my colleagues? Because it's not going to be very comfortable most of the time. I was asked to be honest with you, but it is a really rewarding experience. Now, I also went ahead and I thought about, okay, what would I think would be STEM survival to make it through this course for the first year and be okay at the end? And I'm okay at the end. Okay, so to be okay at the end. The development of the computer science principles course is a process. We don't have it all together, and you need to know that up front. It's evolving, and you are evolvers in this process. So we can't say, here's your course, this is what you teach. You're going to be contributing with this. That's a process. We're comfortable as STEM teachers with that process because science is a process. Do not reinvent every wheel. I think that we tend to do that. We want to do everything ourselves. Don't do that. Use available resources. Ask the teachers in this group because we're all very eager to help you. We want you to be successful, and these ladies and gentlemen have helped me so much over the past year. I can call on any one of them, and they will help me any way that they can, and I know that, and we all are here to do that. You do not have to know the minutia of every student's skill or task. I had realized that years ago. I've taught for 23 years. I am not encumbered by having to know every little single detail of what my kids are going to do. That is not easy for some people. Math and science teachers tend to be very detail-oriented. You look at, you know that oftentimes the devil's in the detail, and so that's where you go. But you've got to understand that for this course, you don't have to know everything the kids themselves are going to do. Let them learn it. Let them figure out some parts of it. And that'll kind of free you a little bit for feeling like you always have to be in control. It's a wonderful course. I think you'll enjoy it. Realize as a STEM teacher, there are things that you bring with you that are useful. You are going to have some inherent challenges, and then there's just some things to help you survive. So good luck to you.